Hi, I'm Miss Hollow, back with the brand new story. In a world where people spread negativity and harm others, there also exist beings of light, mysterious, unseen forces that protect and help. Today's story is about one such good entity, a supernatural being who appeared not to harm but to save. Let's dive into the story. I'm from Canada. I can't reveal my name. I'm a doctor and my husband is a doctor too. Our son is extremely intelligent, a topper in his studies, and very religious, a perfect child in every way. We once attended a wedding where some distant relatives considered our son as a potential match for the daughter. But I refused because those people were quite bold and the girl was very different from my son in nature. My son needed someone who shared his values and character. My refusal deeply offended my cousin. She couldn't tolerate it. Soon after, I began to notice change in my son. I have a passion for gardening and had a lot of flowers in our lawn. My son would go to that corner of the garden every evening, carrying sweets and perfume. This was strange because he never liked sweets. Whenever I entered his room, I would feel an odd presence, a strange, unfamiliar fragrance, like someone else was out. At first, it seemed harmless, but then things got worse. At night, it would feel like people outside were screaming in pain. Sometimes a horrible stench would fill the house. One night, I got an emergency call from the hospital. As I rushed downstairs, I saw my son. He looked normal, but that same fragrance was in his room. When I went to the kitchen to get water, I saw a very tall woman standing. When she turned around, I was frozen. Instead of eyes, flames burned in her sockets, and her tongue hung out, dripping blood. She started slowly moving around me. I felt like that was the end for me. But just as she reached me, she vanished into the wall, as if someone had pushed her into it. I fainted from the shock. When I woke up, I was in my room. My husband and son were there. I told them everything, but they didn't believe me. They said I was overworked and imagining things. A few days later, my husband was driving back from hospital when he saw that same woman sitting on the back of the car through the side mirror. Suddenly, she attacked him. He lost control of the car and crashed. His condition was critical, but thankfully he survived and began to recover quickly. Something doctors said was medically impossible. That's when I told my brother everything. I said, "This woman appears to us and tries to harm us." My brother told me to consult a spiritual healer. My husband, son, and I went to this healer. It may sound strange, a doctor seeking a spiritual solution, but what was happening at home was beyond logic. We told the healer everything. He said our son was the target of a powerful black magic spell intended to kill him, but it couldn't succeed because our son is a pure soul who constantly prays and stays righteous. Instead, that entity started attacking us, his parents, because it couldn't touch him. Then the healer told us something shocking. Despite the black magic, a good female jinn was also attached to our son. She protected him and wouldn't let any harm come to him. This scared us even more. The healer gave us water and said he would come to our house in 2 days. When we returned home, I again felt that sweet, familiar fragrance in my son's room. I realized what it was. 2 days later, the spiritual healer came. He sat in a room and started reading prayers. He discovered and removed black magic objects from the house and told us to burn them. When we placed them on the ground, they ignited on their own. We couldn't believe this was happening in our home. The healer cleansed the house of all negative energy, but I could still feel the presence of the good jinn girl. I asked him, "Is she still here?" He replied, "Yes, she is the one who saved your lives. She is your son's companion and she will stay here." A few months passed in relative peace, but I told my brother I wanted that girl to leave my son alone. He said he would talk to some knowledgeable. One day, while sitting in my room, I felt like sweet fragrance and sensed someone standing beside me. When I turned, I saw a girl materialized in the room. She was the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. She was breathtaking. Long, graceful feet that barely touched the ground, soft, wavy hair, big, soulful eyes, a delicate pinkish glow on her skin, and a height of about 5'8". But what stayed with me the most was her scent, a gentle, sweet fragrance that just reached the nose. It touched the heart. She is unbelievably beautiful. I asked her, "Who are you?" She said, "I'm the one who saved your family." I got scared, but she said, "Please don't fear me. I won't harm anyone in this house. Just don't separate me from your son. We love each other deeply, but whoever tries to harm your son, I will not spare them." Looking at her, I thought, if she were human, I would have arranged her marriage with my son. 3 days after this, my cousin came to me crying and apologizing. She was the one who had someone perform the dangerous black magic on my son. She begged, "I won't harm anyone in this house. Just don't separate me from your son. We love each other deeply, but whoever tries to harm your son, I will not spare them." Looking at her, I thought, if she were human, I would have arranged her marriage with my son. 3 days after this, my cousin came to me crying and apologizing. She was the one who had someone perform the dangerous black magic on my son. She begged for forgiveness. That very evening, my brother came with another spiritual scholar. After performing some rituals, the scholar confirmed that this girl was a good spiritual entity and would not leave your son. He said, "She is here for his protection and to help you all. I cannot harm her. That would be wrong." After that, the girl began to appear more often around the house. Sometimes she would even talk to us. If sweets were made in the house, they would disappear. I manage all the housework, but sometimes I would find things already done, as if someone had helped. That lovely fragrance always lingered in the air. Even now, as I'm writing this story for you, I just saw her again. She is my son's room, but we never say anything to her. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing you new spine-chilling tales every weekend. Leave a sweet comment below, and if you have a personal experience or horror story you would like to share, check out the description. You will find an email. You can send us your story on that email. See you in the next story. Take care and stay safe.